Let's make and share some grunge overlays. I shared in the last tutorial how to make some grunge brushes, and so now we're going to begin to use those grunge brushes. I'm going to create a new layer and choose one of the grunge brushes that I've made. Let's go and get that last one that's fairly large, and I'm going to simply apply this grunge brush down the edge of my paper. I may need to zoom out some. Don't be afraid to go over the edge out into the gray area when applying the brush. And now that I have some grunginess on the edges, you'll note if I try to put this grunge brush on the top edge, it's in the wrong direction. So I'm going to hit the options, and I'm just going to grab this circle and move it until it's at a 90-degree angle, or whatever angle works best. I do want to point out that if you go ahead and move your cursor out here, you can see what angle it is. So if you need to go back in here and tweak it again until you get it right, that's okay. Now you can click the X after you have this setting, but if you prefer, you could just start clicking out here and that options box will go away. And then I can make the grunge edge horizontally. Got that a little too dark by hitting over in the same area, so I'm going to hit the undo button. Love that undo button. And I need to pick up that little area there. So now I'm going to zoom in, and you can see I have some grunginess all the way around the outer edge. Now to save this as an overlay, I would turn off the background layer and then simply do a save as and choose the ping or .png, and then I could bring this into any layout to utilize it. I have here a paper that I recently gave away as a freebie, and you can see having it black around the edges is not that effective, and so you can play with your blending modes. The overlay mode certainly gives an effect down here wherever there's the dark colors, but not where there is white around the edges. But that may be the effect that you want. So you can just run through the blending modes until you find something that is effective. Since this paper has white on the edges, it's not quite as effective on this paper. I do have red, and it's on screen. Let's go move it out. And actually the black with the red looks kind of cool, but you can go ahead and use the various blending modes. I like the soft light often to get different effects. Now I do want to show you the screen one. In this case makes it go away altogether. I want to show you quickly that you can go ahead. Let's copy this one, and I'm just going to press Control-I on my keyboard, and that makes my grunge overlay now white, and it gives it a whole new look. And when I go to apply the blending modes, I'm just going to hit the down arrow key to scroll through the various blending modes, and you can see, I'm going to zoom in, get on the correct layer. You can see there it gives a whole new look to each of the blending modes. Something else that you can do that is effective is to hold down the, well, let's first get the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to get a red color from, let's get a bright, there's a good one. In my foreground color, I'm going to hold down my control key, click on the thumbnail of the layer with the grunge around it, and I'm going to go to the edit drop down menu, fill selection with the foreground color, and I'm going to make sure we preserve the transparency of this so that otherwise it would just fill in an all solid red and it wouldn't have any of the opaque areas, the areas with opacity. I'm going to click OK, Control D, and now you can see that my grunge brush is red, so that when I go to apply the various blending modes, I'm going to get even different effects. And I have found using the brush that is the same color as the paper can really give some cool effects. Here it is again on the white paper. Whoops, let's zoom out. I'm trying to zoom out. Get my move tool. And there it is with the red around on the white paper. That looks kind of cool. If I go to multiply and scroll down through, you can see the red comes up with a lot more effective choices for, I even like the way the blue looks when it gets in the difference mode. And so let me show you a few more things about making these brushes. Let's go back to this original, well, I'm going to copy it before I play with it again. There's a copy of this original one that I did. What you can do when making these overlays is to create variety in them by going to the filter drop down menu, choosing blur and Gaussian blur, and then moving the slider until you find something effective, such as this one might make a really great simple grungy border. Then I can go and grab a different brush, and there's one in here that's really cool. I like this one that I made, and begin, oh, I don't want yellow, I did that by accident earlier. And I can create some really cool grungy areas here using this brush. I'm just going to do this quickly. I'm going to turn it. This is one where that brush is not quite horizontal or vertical. There we go. And I had to test it to get it set more right. And I'm just doing this quickly. I probably would rather stamp in here. And then you can run that filter again. This time I'm not going to run it so high. And then you can apply another brush on top of that if you want. And let's see what this does now when we go and make our red paper effective. And now you can see when I go to use, let's make it red. Fill the selection with red. And let's go back to normal and then just run through the various blending modes. You can see I've got some really cool effects this way with this type of brush. Let me point out that let's say you get one that you think's really cool. Let's say this one, but it's too strong. You can go also and lower the opacity on that overlay. Now you can also go ahead and add these blending modes and change the opacity to where you like it, and then share this overlay as a ping in this method. And so that's another way, rather than leaving it in its original form, you may want to change the blending mode and the opacity before you save it as a ping. And so I think I've given you enough information to go out there and create your own overlays. I want to see what you have to make, and please do share in the forums for others to download so that we can all learn together. Tell us what you might have done differently than what I've done, and let's all have fun creating and using these in our layouts together.